bringing you news with a voice of reason. You're listening to the Hawk Report. They've drinking the dragon's Kool-Aid. Most of us have probably heard the saying, you've drank the Kool-Aid, meaning you've swallowed the lie, usually a social idea like the way equality is being distorted today. And now that wrong philosophy is part of you. The Bible uses the same symbolism, like the woman sitting on the beast, drunk with the blood of the martyrs, and holding a wine chalice of blasphemous things, showing what she represents as a person and system. Well, the religion of the dragon is from the highly symbolic book of Revelation. Symbolism expresses truth and reality beautifully. The beast power presented the political aspect of the system, and the dragon, the religious aspect. You may think what I'm saying is political, but really there is not much difference, because it is the belief or conviction in one's moral decisions that motivates one towards the bias they choose. Whether that's in politics or religion, it has a similar outcome. The dragon's religion is one that uses compassionate language that pretends to be on the side of the oppressed. They often head all these civil rights organizations that consistently cry racism, bigotry, etc. But all they are really after is power. They have to use that power to intimidate because they're wrong, and their biggest enemy is Christianity, and especially the Christian West, because of the influence it has had that they cannot and will not honestly debate either. These postmodern radicals, many of them even know they have lost the scientific debate of equity, that everyone is a blank state and equal at birth, and that everything that makes people different is a matter of socialization. All that is a dead theory, but they don't care about the facts. They care about power, and will try to intimidate and even get you by labeling you a bigot, and many have drank their Kool-Aid. Christians today are entranced in... It's hard to talk to Christians today because they are entranced in some science fictional eschatology that mystifies this symbolism I am trying to portray here to almost a Hollywood type status. I am going to simplify it in a scriptural manner that I think shows that mysterious aspect is not necessary. I think the Bible is very clear. In Revelation 12:17 it states, and the dragon waxed wroth with the woman. Wroth is in different tense or derivative of wrath, angry with the woman being the new Israel of God, the new covenant church, and went away to make war with the rest of her seed. Notice that is a spiritual seed based on behavior, because it says, which keep the commandments of God and hold the testimony of Jesus. The dragon system is not really interested in saving the oppressed or being tolerant, as it claims. The system is a lie. It is interested in power and suppressing anyone that goes against the power it seeks. It is totalitarianism. Its adherents are drunken with its doctrine of race and sexism in saving the oppressed or being tolerant, as it claims. The system is a lie. It is interested in power and suppressing anyone that goes against the power it seeks. It is totalitarianism. Its adherents are drunken with its doctrine of race and sexism to the point it disdains anything good and Christian, and much of the characteristics of the predominantly white Christian West is what they really hate. You will find out why I had to specify that. The public schools and especially universities are a breeding ground for this horrendous religion. They are resentful towards the past 100 years of white Christian West dominance, the Enlightenment, even though what it produced is the best the world has to offer and gave us the modern world we all enjoy. Well, America is not perfect. It has been a beacon of light to the nations. See our 5th video surrounding the Camp of the Saints for that. They hate America, demonstrate patriotism to America, as will be demonstrated in the following footage on college campus. They have drinking the dragon's Kool-Aid.
Hi, I'm Ami Horowitz. Sadly, there's been a lot of controversy around some of our American symbols, like the national anthem. So I went to UC Berkeley to see what the student reaction would be to another national symbol, the American flag. I love America. This country stands for freedom. Yeah! The little piece of freedom in my hand. Who protects freedom? This guy! I am pumped! The greatest country on planet Earth that protects all freedoms, right? No? Greatest country in the world, right?
No.
The opposite?
Complete opposite.
No? Why not?
Yeah, Canada's pretty great.
You know what I'm talking about. That thing's freaking me out. Big time.
One imperial power right now in the world.
It signifies military rule.
God is not proud of us.
America.
This country.
Wow. Why would you say that?
I see you walk around
This-
with the little star.
Flick me off?
Consider
Because she said my flag sucked, I wanted to see what the reaction would be with, well, another flag that's out there in the news. I stand against America. ISIS protects Islam. I denounce the United States. The black flag of ISIS will stand over the White House. I denounce Western imperialism. I denounce American imperialism. Thank you.
I love that you're saying that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. ISIS is love. We don't have hate in our hearts unless you stand against us. Then we kill. The attack in New York was a blow. I flaunt your American smoking rules. After spending several hours waving my ISIS flag, shouting pro-ISIS, anti-American rhetoric, a sum total of one person was upset by it. America! I'm Ami Horowitz. Democrats and the Democratic Party have moved decisively to the left. How far to the left, you may ask? What's wrong with socialism?
Nothing.
What's wrong with socialism?
Nothing.
Nothing. What's wrong with socialism? I don't have anything. I don't have any problems with it. I don't think anything's wrong with socialism.
Capitalist countries have always been messing with its ideology and trying to delegitimize it.
I kind of like it. I think the American people like socialism. I think socialism's great.
This is a pretty dangerous part of town. What are we doing here?
Buscando algo que comer,
What kind of food?
lo que sea, lo que encuentre. Perro, un gato, una paloma. Tengo mucha hambre. Tengo mucha hambre.
Venezuela, a democratic socialist state with the world's largest oil reserves, has descended into a mind-boggling Malthusian chaos. The country has been engulfed in violence, hunger, and corruption, and is on the edge of total societal collapse.
Matan a la gente a la luz del día, los roban a la luz del día, policía, hay policías en zona de Caracas y no hacen nada, hay robado por lo menos en parte de Caracas, de Capitolio, ahí roban a todo el mundo y los policías están por ahí siempre, igualito roban. Caracas está bastante inseguro ahorita, con la situación del país como está.
Right in front of us, a man was shot in the street by unknown assailants. Holy shit. The guy just got shot. Look at the cop. Just walking away. Do you feel socialism works?
No, porque eso no funciona, porque si funcionara no estamos como estamos ahorita, que estamos ahorita pasando hambre y necesidad, pues, ¿entiendes? Eso no funciona aquí, eso...
No, si esto funcionara de verdad, nosotros no estuviéramos en esto, pues, no estuviéramos haciendo cola, no estuviéramos matándonos por ahí, arriesgando nuestras vidas. En realidad no funciona, esto no sirve, como quien dice.
No, en realidad eso no funciona para nada aquí. Eso es un engaño como quien dice, que ellos no hacen nada, no sirven para nada. Son como unos X más en la vida. No sirven.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of Americans who want to bring socialism, democratic socialism, into America?
Tienen que vivir lo que nosotros estamos viviendo para que ellos vean que no es nada bueno. Para que vean que esto es lo que es una pesadilla para uno. Terror. Yo le digo al estadounidense que no cometa esa locura porque eso es una mentira. Pues a nosotros nos mintieron, estamos pasando hambre, hay mucha delincuencia y bueno, que no cometan esa locura.
Lo que le diría, eso estamos sintiendo, para ver si dirían que aquí hay de todo, como ellos dicen. Los invitamos a que vengan y vivan aquí.
They are one of the most productive. Their people are the happiest. They have the least amount of crime, violence, and
Socialist countries.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it in my eyes.
Nice. Common traits in those who adhere to the dragon's religion are, first, I have to say, and many won't like this, but it is not a system of unique individuality, but is a system that seeks acceptance of others, like we are seeing with the sudden surge of tattoos, which, by the way, is not unique or new, but is ancient paganism. It used to be a few short years ago that to be cool often was to be unique, not to copy others for acceptance. That is more insecurity than it is cool. But the tattoo culture is extreme in many cases, and even though someone with tattoos can be saved, it is still of the dragon's religion that shows a disdain against what some see as the past lily-white Christian West, so to speak. When I say the Christian West, that includes Europe too. They are what I call the other Christian West. I know people may think they get tattoos for different reasons, and I know some Christians even justify it by saying, my God looks at the inside. Well, what's going on in the inside often shows on the outside. Why would you want to look like a dragon? You know, some of these people get sleeves and everything, when your body is supposed to be a temple of God, unless you've ignored the Word of God and haven't shown it as a priority in your life. What kind of message does that send to kids, for example? The Bible is clear about not marking oneself up as the pagans do, Leviticus 19:28. But when you resent Christianity, this kind of thing feels good. More common traits in those who have succumbed to this dragon religion are, they appear to look good on the surface and seek approval of others more than seeking approval of God or doing what is right. Matthew 6:2 says, when therefore you do alms and sound not a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, and they may have glory of men, verily I say unto you, they have their reward. They have received their reward. 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Did you know the Bible personifies evil, and that it is not a fallen angel, as most Christians have assumed? In Book 2 of the Christian Mythbuster series, you can go to thechristianmythbusterseries.com, we show Scripture debunks that man-made tradition that has made void the Word of God on this topic, distorting other scriptures related to it. Another translation, to give you an example of this, 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no wonder, for even adversary, well, that's the adversary of Christianity there, that's people, disguises himself. Like I said, it personifies, the Bible personifies this entity often. There's explanations for that, as a messenger, not necessarily a heavenly angel, but as a messenger of light. Okay, another trait of the dragon's religion is that they are always hypocritical. Jesus continually railed on the Jewish leadership of his day for their hypocrisy, to the point he even called them serpents. Just search the word hypocrite and its different derivatives. They are the accuser of our brethren today, just like they were in the first century. Luke 13:14. Now answering the chief of the synagogue, resenting that Jesus heals on the Sabbath, said to the throng that 6 days are there on which one must be working on them, then coming you heal, and not on the Sabbath day. Be cured, and not on the Sabbath day. Yet the Lord answered and said, hypocrites, each one of you, on the Sabbath is he not loosing his ox or ass from his manger, and leading it away is giving it to drink? Over 30 times in the New Testament, the self-righteous Jewish leadership accused Jesus and his followers, i.e. the accuser of our brethren. Sometimes the accusation fits, but most of the time, like we see with Donald Trump today, for instance, they are fake accusations. I use that word fake often now. I normally say false accusations, but it seems to kind of wake people up in the fake news media, fake history. Another trait is that this dragon system has is they always turn the tables. You can be pretty sure whatever the dragon's religion accuses you of, they are guilty of. If they accuse you of hate, they are really the ones being hateful. If they say you are intolerant, they are being intolerant of your Christianity. It's a game they play. Another characteristic trait of the dragon's religion, they are always on the wrong side. No matter, even if some of their accusations against the other side are true, one thing is for certain, they will be on the wrong side of the battle. Meaning if one side is right, and I think, for instance, that the side of Donald Trump today, even though he's an imperfect messenger, not an angel of God, not a prophet, but a messenger, I think, in many respects, and the other side is wrong, while they hurl accusations galore at him, they will be on the wrong side. They will put you in categories, label, etc. If something right and factual is being presented and they don't like it, they will just sneer, oh, that figures, it's coming from Fox News. It doesn't matter if it's factual. If it comes from, say, Donald Trump, they'll dismiss it and stick to the wrong side of the battle. This is another fruit of their religion, rebellion, which is spiritual immaturity, actually. They foolishly think diversity comes from different colored people and sexual identities. Yes, there are different cultures from different ethnicities. No one's denying that. But true diversity comes from what they hypocritically reject, true tolerance of difference in ideologies and how one reacts to it. And because of all this, they are highly deluded deceivers, like what Trump calls the enemy of the people, the fake news media. Even though their agendas are highly diluted, they are still able to deceive many of those who are under their spell. We are in a very unique time in history that is unprecedented, that I am convinced will not revert and go back to the past normal. People, especially Christians, are in a spiritual state where they are suspicious of human authority. The coup has brought unequal darkness and corruption to the USA that they are still trying to hide and turn the tables against the truth. Therefore, the public demand for transparency is greater than it has ever been. Americans in past history would get distracted on issues and move on because they were living at ease. They would take the bouncing ball in another direction as it came. But since the Trump campaign, all that has changed. We are becoming more focused on what's important and cannot be distracted with all this glitter. Even on both sides, whether one loves or hates the Trump administration, they are focused on the movie. Trump tweets are the unmitigated, undistorted news, and this is a huge reason the people will not relent until they get justice. Let's face it, they'll not get it. They will not get it from the current FBI, DOJ, or Congress. The people need to demand transparency and indictments, and in an age of information, they are staying more on top of things. They are primarily democratic liberals, Marxist, socialists, people clamoring for communism. In America's earlier years, this was not so. Why has this happened to the Democratic, or primarily Democratic, because rhinos are involved too, party? It may sound very simple, but in essence it has become complex. They have favored their own principles over biblical principles, like this dragon religion that I am trying to explain what the symbolism in Revelation actually means. I've often called it the pseudo-value system of the day. The same people for our day, most who attack Trump, will slander Trump and equate their values with being against his and our Christian values. So we have to ask, what are their values? Well, we've been going over that for the most part. Well, some of them who are politicians will say things like, he, meaning Trump, attacks our values, or elect me and I will fight Donald Trump. Why would anyone take the side of socialist, communist, Marxist values over Christian values? So you can allege you're not racist? I don't get it myself. See what that kind of line of thinking did for Sally Yates? Just look at what that way of thinking did in the 2008 elections. It gave us one of the biggest frauds as a president, even worse than Bill Clinton, I'll add. One who was Clinton, a product of the hippie hippie sex, drug, and rock and roll culture, Obama, who had even Bill Clinton beat in the acting department.
They're telling us that the single most grave threat to America is a bunch of poor, impoverished, broke, hungry refugees 1,000 miles away. That's like the thing that's really going to threaten Gary in the end. It's not like we need more jobs here. It's not health care. It's not like how are we going to educate our kids and get those guns out of the hands of our kids. That's not the thing. The thing is these folks 1,000 miles away. And by the way, they're even using our brave troops, sending them down as a political stunt. Men and women of our military deserve better.
Now, the Dragons adherents would not care why I say that. They would try and intimidate me by labeling me because he's black. You're catching on. This is Stephen Hawk of the ChristianMythBusterSeries.com. Till next time.